Okay, we now welcome on another special guest. It is Christina Burkenroad. She is currently playing in the Mexican League for Monterrey. Christina, thank you for joining us today.
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So to start off, can you kind of walk us through how you got to the Mexican League? Because you've been
all over the place.
Europe, yeah, and in the US as well.
Yeah, actually, it's a funny story how I got to Mexico. The power of social media, basically. But yeah, no, I started my professional career, at least in the United States. I played for Orlando Pride, and I did for about 2 seasons. And then kind of like classic story, rookie, wasn't getting too much playing time, but like wanted to get more experience. So I talked to a few teammates. I talked to Ashlyn Harris, some of the national team teammates, some of my friends there, and they just kind of advised me, like, if you want to go get experience and like get playing time, go overseas. And that's a super common move from a lot of Americans. So yeah, I decided to go to Europe, and it was kind of it happened so fast, but yeah, I ended up going to Norway and playing for a Norwegian team, just because the Scandinavian leagues are really good, and they love Americans. And so, yeah, I ended up playing for a team. I actually ended up getting in a little bit of culture shock just because it was in like northern Norway, and I'm from San Diego, California.
Big difference.
Yeah, and then I played in Orlando, like the 2 sunniest places in America.
Yeah.
And it was just like such a weather culture shock. Like I went in the winter time. So like literally there was like 2 hours of sunlight a day. It was just like too much. So I got contracted to another team in Europe, AC Sparta Prague, which was an amazing experience. I stayed there for almost 3 years. And I left AC Sparta in the beginning of the pandemic last year. And so I didn't have a team. I kind of just like was like, I just know I don't really want to re-sign here. Like I'm ready for a new challenge. I'm ready for a new country. I just kind of felt it. And like I said, I had no idea what club I was supposed to go to. So I ended up going back home to California. And then one day I got a DM and it's from a Mexican agent. And he's like, he's actually my agent now. And he's just like, hey, do you want to play in the Mexican League? I was like,
that's all it said, was just, hey, you want to play in the Mexican League?
Yeah. Would you be interested in playing for the Mexican League, the best team in Mexico or something like that? And I was like, yes, but like, 1, who are you? And 2, how? Like,
I need to know more.
Seems too good to be true.
And then he was like, well, here's my number. It was just like it started out like super sketchy.
Yeah.
It ended up like, I kind of just ended up flowing with it. He ended up saying like, okay, well, like here I can like, just give me these details about you. And I'll set up a call with America, with Rayadas, and with Tigres, and we'll see if you like them or not. And literally it happened so fast. Like the next day I was on Zoom calls, basically like interviewing the clubs, and they were interviewing me, obviously, like getting my resume where I'm, just about me. And the next thing I know, the next week I'm on a plane to Mexico. Like,
wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no. So it was really funny. It's the power of social media, I swear.
Yeah, you just got to shoot your shot. I mean, when we started this, that's kind of how we started getting guests, was we were just shooting out DMs. Whoever got back to us, we'd have them on. It's like, you never know who's going to see it or like what's going to come of it. You just got to shoot your shot.
Exactly. You just got to put the energy out there.
Yeah. It's crazy that like the the agents are just like,
they're on the prowl.
Their teams like through Instagram, Like,
yeah.
They are. I know. And his agent was just like, here are the players I represent. Like, it was just like not formal whatsoever.
Yeah.
But it was funny. But I mean, he's a great agent, good guy. So I'm happy.
Yeah. So I kind of want to talk about the past season now. You guys unfortunately lost in the final. But you guys you guys were down 1-0 on aggregate, and then you guys tough game, and then scored in the 93rd minute then
Yeah.
What was that like? Can you kind of take us through the experience of doing that? Like, what was?
Yeah. So first of all, like I've played derbies and I've played finals, but in Mexico, soccer is just like in their blood. Like it's the most passionate thing I've ever just experienced. And so going into the stadium and the day of the final, like it was just, I mean, there was even no fans, and I still felt the energy of like thousands of people watching on TV. It was just like it was an insane feeling. It was so cool, and especially just being in the final. It was definitely a cool experience. But yeah, so we started playing. We had beaten Tigres one time during the season, and so I was confident. I was like, okay, we've beaten them before, like we can beat them again, obviously. And like these two teams, like Rayadas and Tigres, are just like every season it's just head to head. Like it's just head to head. Like both carry such talent and skillful players, so it's pretty cool. And then but yeah, the game started. We both teams had so many opportunities, but the nerves were up there for both teams. And then yeah, so they ended up scoring. We had a few chances to tie it, and then, but we just kept going in the second half. Like the last 10 minutes, we were just attacking, pressing, just doing whatever we could to kind of make them fall, And then I remember the play, like specifically, like it was like, yeah, the 93rd minute. And so everybody was just on offense basically. And there was kind of like a jumble in the box. Somebody shot it, it got deflected, shot it again, got deflected. Like it was just one of those things where the ball's just bouncing around, like everybody's on their toes. I remember somebody shot it, it came to me, but then our center back, Anya Mejia, was running like behind me, and she just had way more momentum than I had. And so I kind of like moved out of the way, and our center back just came out of nowhere and just rocketed in. It was like at the PK line. And yeah, so we ended up tying, ended up going to PKs, and unfortunately losing in PKs. But yeah, it was a really cool experience. It was unbelievable, actually.
So how would you compare kind of like that experience to playing in the Champions League when you were with Sparta Prague?
Yeah, I mean, both of the experiences were super, super different, but both just like amazing. And to say that I've played in Champions League and scored in Champions League and just was able to even like participate in it is so cool. That's just like a dream come true. But yeah, no, it was, Champions League is just like a different kind of cool. It's just like
I think you're our first Champions League player like that we've had on that has played in the Champions League. So.
Oh really?
No, Chris Richards.
Did he play?
He played, yeah. Oh. He made his debut, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No.
So number two.
Well, you're the first one that scored. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. No, so yeah, I competed in Champions League 2 times for 2 years. And the first year we played Ajax, which was awesome, unbelievable. Just Amsterdam is an amazing city, soccer city. And of course, the men's team is just unbelievable. And so I remember just getting to the campus and, having a training, and like a couple of the men's players walking by, and the pitches were just like perfectly cut grass. No, it was just like an unbelievable experience. Just, I mean, you walk out and like you hear the Champions League song and you're just like, oh my God, like
yeah, it's must be powerful.
Yeah, like you watch this on TV. It's just like the biggest tournament of the world. Like it's just so cool. But yeah, I don't even know how to describe it, to be completely honest. It was just also one of those experiences that you kind of are in and you're taking it in, but then you look back and it like happens so fast.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask, like, when you're out there, like before the game, and it's like that you're walking out to the song, like, are you kind of just thinking like, oh wow, like I'm actually here? Or are you thinking more about the game and like what's gonna happen in the game, or is it like a mix of both? Would you say?
I would say it's a mix of both, but more so kind of being present, like I'm here, I'm in the game, like my normal thoughts before a game, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So what kind of went into your decision then to leave Prague? Because I saw your like goal scoring record with them. It looked like it was like pretty amazing. It looked like you scored a lot of goals there. So why did you feel like you wanted a new challenge?
For a couple reasons. Well, first of all, I just kind of felt in my heart that I was ready for the next experience. 2.5 years somewhere is kind of a long time. And yeah, I mean, it's not like there was anything bad there at all that made me want to leave. Like I left on a super good note with the club. So that was awesome. But also just the Czech league isn't that great. It's from top to bottom. I would say the first 4 teams are really, really good. But it was just basically like a competition between the first 4 teams, because then the talent level and just financial stability of the teams wasn't there at all. Like literally was not there. So, so I think that was the biggest reason. I kind of just felt as a player, like I still wanted to grow, and I knew in order to grow, I needed to kind of put myself out of my comfort zone, and kind of move on to the next experience. Because I felt by the end of the 2.5 years, I was starting to get a little comfortable. And I knew I just had a little more in me that I wanted to give somewhere else. So yeah, I think that was the main reason, just the talent level from top of the table to bottom.
Was it tough to pass up on Champions League though? Because I feel like as a kid, that's kind of everybody's dream, is to play in the Champions League. Obviously the league wasn't as good, but I feel like Champions League was like a pretty big selling point for a lot of players. Was that like a tough decision for you to pass on that?
It did go through my mind. I wouldn't say it was like a tough decision, but it definitely crossed my mind. Like, oh, what if I had one more year in Champions League, and what if we made it farther than we ever did, and everything. But the other stuff kind of outweighed that thought, to be completely honest. But it's actually pretty cool because AC Sparta Prague, the team I played on, is actually in the Elite 8 right now. Like they've done better than they have for a long time, and I'm like, shoot, like I'm not there.
Yeah. Because you scored. Sorry, Chuck. You scored. Your Wikipedia says 46 goals in 42 games. That's like Erling Haaland type goal record right there. Was that? How many goals did you score in the Champions League? How many of those were Champions League goals?
Let's see. 4 were Champions League goals.
Wow.
3 or 4.
Awesome. Sorry, Chuck. You can go ahead.
I was gonna ask because I was in Prague, like honestly, it was probably like this time last year, like maybe like this week last year I was there. And it was a really cool place. But we went to this one, it was I forget the name of it in Czech, but it was called the Dog Bar. Have you?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah. That place was so cool. That like with they had I forget the name of the dog, but they had this massive dog there, and it was just like,
yeah, it's like a big white dog.
Yeah.
Is it a real dog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was.
Yeah. Wait, that's so funny. Yeah, that was like, it was kind of this like underground place.
Yeah.
It was just one of those
like 15 minutes to find it, because it was like it's not like marked, like not a marked door, and like.
That's like what Prague is though. There are so many places like that, like restaurants, cafes, bars, like everything, where it's literally like, it looks like a wall. It just looks like it's part of the wall.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like people are coming out of it, and you go in and it's just like this unreal underground bar that like serves weird drinks, and like, it's kind of like grungy, hippie.
Yeah, it's very grungy.
I don't know. It's just so different, but I love it. Like, it was just so fun.
Yeah, I think we were there for like 4 nights, and we went to that place 2 out of the 4 nights because we liked it so much.
Did you study abroad or just travel?
Yeah, I was studying abroad, and I was in Berlin, but we went on like an excursion for a week. Like that.
An excursion.
Program. It was through the program. It was like sponsored through the program, so like everybody went, and we went to, it was Prague and then Nuremberg as well. So it was like.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But unfortunately, the trip got cut short because of. The whole trip as a whole got cut short because of COVID. But
no way. Yeah, Prague shut down immediately. Like the prime minister was like closed, like day 1, he was like, close the borders, close everything. I was like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah, wait, so you were there when it all shut down, right? You hadn't.
Yeah. So our season got canceled in, I don't know, February or March?
Probably
I don't remember.
March. It was
March.
like March is like when I came back. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so early March. And then so our season got canceled completely. We were doing like at home workouts, and then they like tried to send us home a week after it hit, but all the flights got canceled basically. And so I was literally stuck there for like a little over a month, like not be able to get home. And then I think it was like mid-May. Yeah, mid to late May, there was finally some flights that opened up. And when I told them that I didn't want to resign, they were like, okay, we'll go home, basically.
See ya. Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy just like being away from family, being away from home, like living alone out there. I mean, I had teammates close by too, so like we saw each other, but still it was just like such a weird time.
Yeah, it was so. I remember when we were there, because Will actually had come out. He was on a spring break. He took his spring break trip to come out to visit me, and we went to a Bayern Munich game. And then it was like he was over there, my cousins were over there too, and it was just like we had no idea what to do. They were like they announced like the travel ban or whatever. They booked flights right away, and
we thought we were going to be stuck there because Trump was like, we're not letting anybody in or out or whatever, and he never specified that it wasn't just U.S. or that U.S. citizens were allowed back. So we like booked flights at like 3 a.m. that night because we were like, we got to get out of here before this kicks in. And then they finally clarified it. we got a refund on the flights though, so it was all good. But I would have been pissed if we didn't, because they were hell expensive. But we thought we were gonna be stuck there forever, or until it cleared up. But yeah, it was pretty stressful.
Dude, I just remember like sitting at home every night watching Trump's like debates, or not debates, but his little talks, and I'm just like, oh God.
Yeah, it was like, what's gonna happen next? Like you had no idea what's gonna happen.
Well, remember he was like, oh, by Easter it'll be all gone.
Yeah. It's about to be Easter the next year. Maybe he meant
2021 Easter, maybe.
Yeah, he should have specified.
Yeah. All right. So I want to move on to you have a brand, We Are Better Every Day. Is it a brand? Like, what exactly is that? I know like that's something you've been promoting on your Instagram.
Yeah. So yeah, it's called Better Every Day. The handle on Instagram is We Are Better Every Day. But honestly, so basically about 10 years ago, I was going through a really, really hard time in life, just struggling mentally, struggling just like my family was struggling financially, just like in the lowest of lows. And I kind of just like, I read something or somebody showed me something, and I just like, it just clicked. Like somebody said better every day, just like focus on little habits every day, like little healthy habits, create your habits to do every single day that will start helping you grow into the person you want to become. And so literally every day since high school, it's been in the back of my mind, like, just be a little better today, just be a little better every day. And it really, I don't know, I use it for all aspects of my life. Like, hey, be a better sister today, call my brother, see how he's doing. Like, hey, eat a little better today. Hey, in training, work that much harder today. You know what I mean? So all in all, it's kind of just like a mindset that I carry. It's just kind of a mentality that I carry. And I actually credit it to getting me out of homelessness to become a professional soccer player. So I just think creating a mindset and creating habits for your life can help you so much, just kind of grow into the person you're meant to be. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you guys sell stuff, or is it more just like a lifestyle and like mentality type page? Or do you guys have like a product?
Yeah, so we sell like t-shirts and hoodies that say better every day. But all in all, it's basically just a mentality. But yeah, we do sell t-shirts, we sell hoodies. I have the company with my best friend Kat, who actually played at Duke and then played in Prague with me. So we met there. We talked about better every day, every day. And she just, we met and we clicked instantly, and all of our conversations just had to do with, okay, how can we better ourselves? How can we, make more money? How can we brand ourselves? How can we sleep better? You know what I mean? It's just like we were constantly talking about how to be better people and how to live better lives and how to grow and just to me, like my motto is like inspire by the way you live. So just every action, it's not about being perfect. It's just about like progression basically. And so, yeah, all of our conversations were just about like bettering ourselves. And so we were like, dude, let's just make this a company. Like, let's start saying it out loud. Cause I would always say it to like my friends and stuff. And I would always say it to myself, but I never like put it on social media. I never did anything like that. And so like a little bit, like when I got here to Mexico 7 months ago, like I started saying it and like the fans started loving it. My teammates started saying it to me every day. Like it just kind of grew and grew. And yeah, now it's just kind of like a project that we're doing.
So you said your Instagram handle, but do you have like a website where people can go check it out and buy some of your stuff?
Yeah. It's also wearebettereveryday.com.
Okay, sweet.
Awesome. So like when you're saying with mentality, is meditating a big part of like your mental health, and like is that something you do often?
Yeah, that's actually something I do every day. I obviously go through phases of doing it for like 2 weeks at a time, and then I stop for a week, and then I do it for 5 days, you know? So, but yeah, that's something I incorporated into my routines a long time ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it helps so much.
Yeah, we in one of my classes today, actually, we had somebody who was, I don't know exactly what his title was, but he was like a mindfulness coach or like teacher or whatever. And he came in, and the whole class today for like 2 hours was just him teaching us about mindfulness and meditating. And he took us through I think it was just 10 minutes of a meditating session. And I had done those before, but it was like, and I have like felt like, you know what I mean? I feel like more like relaxed and like calm and just like not like, cause it's pretty much just to like not worry about the future. Cause it's like, if you keep worrying about that, it's like stuff that's how you worry about what's happening right now, essentially. And I don't know, I thought it was really powerful, but like what you're doing, and I definitely want to pick it up more. So that's why I was asking.
Yeah. Even just like, you know, there's some days where I just do it for 5 minutes, you know what I mean? And there's other days where I do it for 20 minutes. I think where people go, oh, also that's really cool that you have that, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I had no idea that was gonna happen. Like it was just like I saw he was like, yeah, the whole class today is just gonna be
Yeah, no, but yeah, again, like I think there's this huge kind of stigma or like expectation that like you have to just like sit with your legs crossed and, you know, meditate for an hour a day, when in reality it's just being present with your breath for 2 minutes, for 3 minutes, for 4 minutes. And it just, over time, that just really helps you create create being present. You know what I mean? And I think it's helped with my patience, honestly.
How long have you been doing it throughout your career?
So throughout my career, I visualized since I was like 11 years old. My family is like we're a bunch of hippies, honestly. So from like Southern California, my dad like grew up in like surfing in the 70s. And so meditation was huge in my family growing up. And so, yeah, I've been doing it for a really long time, years and years.
Do you meditate before games?
In college, I visualized before games. Yeah, every game. But then when I got to the pro level, I didn't stop, but I just don't do it that like as much, as consistently. But it's funny because like before in college, I would literally sit there and, you know, and close my eyes and visualize myself scoring and whatnot. But now I kind of get through the rhythm of just doing my day exactly how I need to, and kind of just, I have little like moments in my mind where I visualize myself scoring, but I'm like fully conscious. You know what I mean? Like I can see it all happening and I can feel it all happening. But I'm just I'm making breakfast or I'm doing stuff. So it's still in my head and I'm still feeling it, but it's not like sitting there with my eyes closed, like meditating, you know?
Yeah. So kind of switching topics now back to the Mexican league. It's kind of a newer league, right? It's like 4 or 5 years old now.
It's actually 3. Yeah.
How 3?
Yeah.
3 years old. So how would you compare your time in Mexico to in the US and kind of the levels of play of the two leagues?
Yeah. I mean, the US was like an unbelievable level. It was so cool. I actually got there and I felt like I was probably one of the worst ones on that team. But also keep in mind, I was playing with like 12 national team players. So
Yeah.
no, but it was cool. But no, the level of play here for this league being around for 3 years, it is unbelievable. I mean, the level from top of the table to bottom of the table is way past my expectations of what it would be. The social media presence and like fan presence is, I think, the best in the world right now, to be completely honest. Or at least one of the best. But yeah, no, my team, it's like the top 3 or 4 teams are unbelievably good, could easily compete with teams in the United States. But then there's a bit of a financial drop off. And so they just can't get super, super great players. But it's still past my expectations. Like, I'm actually really, really content with the level.
Do they have a like a North American Champions League type thing like they do for the men's leagues? Is there something like that for the women's leagues in Mexico and in the US?
Unfortunately, not that formal. But a couple times, yeah, like Houston Dash came down here and played Tigres last season, and like, so there's like little inter squad games and stuff, or like little preseason games and stuff, but it's nothing formal like CONCACAF or anything like that.
Gotcha. And is there like other Americans down there on your team, or is it mostly Mexican players? Like, what's kind of like the demographic of your teammates? And I guess the league as a whole.
So actually you have to have descendants of Mexico. Like, you have to be Mexican to play in this league. And there's a lot of Mexican Americans. Like, I'm Mexican American, but my mom was born in Mexico, so that counted. So so everybody's Mexican, and we have, I think, four Mexican Americans right now.
And that's like a league-wide thing.
Are you fluent in Spanish?
Almost. I can like understand everything, but I can speak like 70%.
That's pretty solid though, did you learn, was that something you learned growing up at all, or not really?
A little bit. Like, so my family, everybody in my family speaks Spanish, because my dad grew up in Panama and my mom was from Mexico. And so everybody spoke Spanish, but so it was something that like I could hear and like understand, but I was always too shy to speak it. And just like thought I didn't sound good at all, so I never spoke it. And so I didn't actually start speaking it until I moved here. I'd say I'm decent.
See, I wish me and Chuck, our dad is like half Austrian, half German. So he's like fluent in German, but he never spoke it to us when we were younger. So like we are like the typical American, can't speak another language, and it's like only English. But I wish I spoke another language. I wish I did.
Yeah, you should know like a little bit of German or something.
I know just a little bit, because I studied it in college for a year. So I know like the basics, but I'm not very conversational, I would say.
Yeah, I would be a lot better if my study abroad program had not got canceled. I'll just say that.
Wait, how long were you there?
I was there it was like the pretty much first week of February until, I remember the date, I came back March 15th. So it was like 6 weeks. So it was pretty short, but it is.
At least you could go, I'm sure you guys could both go there and like get by though. So that's good.
Yeah, we could survive. Plus they all speak English there now, so we'd be all right either way.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I got a question. When you were on Orlando, they released you for Alex Morgan. So you have any beef with Alex Morgan?
No. So before she left, so we played together the whole first season. And no, she's an awesome person. Me and this other rookie, Danny Weatherhall, ended up going to her house all the time, like hanging out, and just, chilling over there. So it was like we were friends. And then she ended up going overseas. And then when she came back, Orlando acquired a couple more forwards, just like older experienced players, basically. And then there was just like no room, basically. And the coach was like, you can stay as a training player and like, we'll still pay you and stuff, but like as a professional, like you want to have games under your belt. So it just like didn't seem like the right situation. But now Alex is cool. Alex is super cool, good person. So no beef there. But I was like, okay, at least like I'm getting released for Alex Morgan. Like that's okay.
Not a bad person to get released for at all.
Yeah.
Do you still talk to her now? Or do you have like any relationship with her now?
When I was in Prague, I texted her a couple times, just like kind of asking for advice. Like, hey, I'm in this situation. What do you think about it? But since I've been here, no, we haven't talked. But I mean, if we ran into each other, I'm sure it'd be, hey, like normal conversation. We're not best friends by any means, but we're not like absolute strangers.
Yeah. That's pretty cool though, to have her to lean on for advice. That must have been really, really, I guess, important for you, and like really, really cool experience. Cause I mean, she's like one of, if not, or at that time, especially one of, if not the best players in the world. So it's pretty awesome.
No, definitely. I definitely feel fortunate to have played with Orlando and just like played alongside so many great players like Ashlyn Harris, Alex Morgan, Marta, Krieger, Steph Catley from Australia. What I could literally name like 10 right now, like just amazing players, amazing people. So it was also cool to just like to see their routines and kind of what they did for preparation, what they did for, just everything, and kind of just like take notes.
Yeah, because there is like a art, I guess, to being a professional. It's not like there is like a certain way you have to like carry yourself and act, right?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, you'd be surprised at how many people like actually go out and party all the time. But yeah, no, for me, this career is a lifestyle. You know what I mean? It's like everything I do, I want it to help me on the field. So what I eat, just what I do, like how much I rest, honestly, like who I talk to, like literally everything. So it's just like, how can I make myself better?
Spill the tea. Who's the partier? Alex Morgan?
I'm not saying anything.
She didn't say no, though. No,
she didn't say no.
That's our headline right there. No.
No way. No, she's cool. She's chill.
Yeah. No, she's somebody like Will's are like, because she went to Cal as well. And Will's like, you got to like use your Cal connections to get her on. And I'm like, she's like untouchable. Like she's like the biggest name like possible like right now in U.S. soccer. So it's like.
Have you guys tried?
I've been trying to get Chuck to try, but I don't think he's done anything on it yet.
I don't know.
I'm sure if you reached out to her agent, it could be something.
Yeah. Or the coach at Cal. I bet you he has some sort of connection.
Well, put some effort in now for that.
Yeah.
Definitely. I don't know, Will. I think we're ready to wrap it up now.
I actually got one question. It's kind of like a broad question. It's not very specific, but like, I guess, how do you kind of feel about like now a lot of European clubs are starting to invest more money in the women's game, and the NWSL is kind of losing, I guess, a couple of the bigger names? Do you feel like they kind of dropped the ball on that, or like, could they have done anything differently to kind of retain their spot? I mean, they still are like the best league, I would say, but like, now it's like starting to shift a little more, and with these European teams investing a little bit more money, could they have done anything different, or like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah. Well, as a player that kind of got like thrown out of the NWSL for a big name, I'm actually super stoked that the rest of the world is kind of expanding and, putting more money and more investment in the women's game. Just because I think that's huge, and I think that creates more opportunities for so many players. And as far as the NWSL doing something different, I actually think they're expanding like 2 new teams this season. So that's huge. And honestly, I think it'll just give more players that are trying to create themselves more opportunity. I feel like a lot of the big names are going overseas and stuff. And so that just gives so many more opportunities to amazing players that just haven't gotten the time to shine because somebody like Alex Morgan with a name like hers is playing, So no, I think the NWSL will always carry such a good weight on itself. Like you say NWSL, you say you played in the NWSL and people automatically know you're a great player. You know what I mean? the NWSL, I think now and will always carry just such a good rep. And I think players, even better players from all over the world, will still want to join the NWSL teams. And I think it'll just continue to expand. And I'm just happy the rest of the world is expanding too. Like, even I think Mexico will be one of the top leagues soon enough if they continue like they're doing. I mean, this league's only been around for 3 years and it's already like expanded so much.
Yeah. I actually have another question too. What's the next country you're gonna play in? Like what's the next country you want to conquer?
Let's see. That's a good question. Well, so far I'm pretty happy here. So I think I'll be here for a while longer. And then next, I can't really see myself going back to Europe, to be completely honest. But I do want to play in the NWSL again, especially with more teams expanding and just like more opportunity. I think that could be super cool.
Yeah, Angel City FC 2022. We just had Sebastian Leggett on. His girlfriend is Becky G, who is part owner of that team. So
wait, that's awesome.
Yeah, that'll be I think that they have a crazy ownership group, so I think that team will be super successful. So that'll be exciting. I think they're 2022 they start.
Oh,
so that'll be awesome.
Yeah, that really will be.
Yeah. I know it's awesome to see all the expansion just in soccer in general in the US. Like, it's what, and then the rest of the world, it's like what it needs to grow the sport. So it's very cool.
For sure. Little steps, for sure.
Yep. All right, Chuck, that's all I got, unless you have another last minute one.
Yeah. Other last questions. All right. Well, Christina, thank you for coming on today. We really enjoyed the conversation with you. And if you want to like drop your social, like where people can find you to follow you and stay connected, go for it.
Yeah. I feel like I'm most active on Instagram for sure. So just at @cburkey. I think that's with 2 Y's and then a 2 at the end. So @cburkey2, or just look up Christina Burkenroad and you should find me.
Cool. All right. Well,
thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
No, thanks for having me, you guys.